Welcome to the DE Chairperson bot demo. This is the second of our 2 disciplinary inquiry bots that we have created. The bots that have won a silver award at Westbank Bank's Most Innovative Solution of the Year award. And this bot is now used once a disciplinary inquiry has taken place, and now all the information in the minutes of the meeting has been collected. So the way it will work is once you open your bot, it's going to greet you and state exactly what it's here for and how it works. And then all you need to do from here is go and read the instructions where the bot tells you to please upload the minutes of the disciplinary itself. So all then you would do is go and get the minutes of the meeting and upload it. A lot of times you say transcriptions are really good to place in here. So all you do is you put that in. Once you have given the bot the minutes of the meeting, the next step it's going to ask you to do is it's going to ask you to go and upload the evidence, and it gives you different types of evidence. And all you need to do is going to give the bot the evidence. Now, from the evidence, it's going to ask to keep it company specific for the disciplinary codes of the company itself. And again, I just have a very generic one, but you would upload your company's disciplinary codes and it'll use it to draw off of. Now, based on this, it's going to go and determine guilt on a balance of probability. So you see charge 1 that was brought about was sexual harassment in this case. And what happens is it will tell you what the charge is and then an evaluation of how it came to the outcome and why it is calling that rule that it is using or the infringement. So the charge is sexual harassment, and then it talks about why it says so, the defenses, and all the evidence. It gives us an analysis. So we'll go and do it for all 3 of the charges that were presented. Charge number 2 is inappropriate workplace conduct, and it will do the same. It mentions also the area in the code that it is infringing on, and the finding of guilty. On the first one, we also saw the finding was guilty as well. So now in the balance probabilities, it tells you if it's guilty or not guilty and how it came to that outcome, and mentions the defenses and everything like that. It's also aligned to the new code of good practice in order to keep it as relevant as possible. So this was recently updated in December of 2025, and then it does the same for charge number 3, which is intoxication. However, the finding here is not guilty, and this is because there was not substantial evidence presented in the disciplinary itself. So this is what the bot will do, is it will go and evaluate those 3 different charges and evaluate the guilt to determine if the individual is guilty or not. So that's what we do there. And I was just going to finish off talking to all the information here at the bottom. And once it completes that, it's going to go into our next stage, which is going to be providing mitigating and aggravating factors. So what the bot will prompt us to do when it finishes off here is just going to ask, were there any mitigating or aggravating factors that we need to take into account when we are looking at the outcomes or the sanctions, should I say, for the disciplinary. Just building a quick summary and not ask, is there mitigating, aggravating factors? I'm going to say yes, there was. He has worked for 5 years and no previous record. So you can add your mitigating, aggravating factors. And now once it has got that, it will move forward with that in mind. Now it's going to ask if you'd like to proceed with sanctions per the charges. And I'm going to say, yes, please do so. And this is where the generative as well as the agentic capabilities of the bot will go and determine whether the individual, what this actual sanction is going to be based on the different charges. So we see for charge 1 of sexual harassment, the finding was guilty. The code say it's normally a dismissal, so it's going to recommend a dismissal and give reasoning behind it. It's going to mention the aggravating and mitigating factors, but at the end of the day, it's going to say, despite all the mitigating factors, the evidence is supporting and everything that's happened, the actual charge itself and the determination of guilt is overpowering, and the outcome will then need to be a dismissal, or was the recommended outcome. Charge 2 is then going to be inappropriate workplace conduct. As we mentioned, the finding was also guilty, and again, it talks to what the recommended sanction is and gives us evaluation. These bots are very easy to use, and a lot of times they are used as a learning tool in order to teach line managers exactly how to go and use and share disciplinaries when they are preparing. So it's a really good training tool, and also just shows you outcomes if you want to do scenario planning. So there we see final recommendation will be a dismissal. Again, human oversight is needed to go through the answers before you just use them. But that is basically the way the Chairperson bot works over there. So the last step that it's going to do after it finishes with its final recommendation is it's going to ask if you would like to draft an outcome email that can be sent to the specific employee. So once this finishes, it's going to go and ask that, and then it drafts it in a nice template that being copied and pasted easily into your company's letterhead and sent off to John. So I'm just going to finish here as it talks to the different rights and the mitigating aggravating factors in this specific case. This is a really nice tool, and also what we have done before and what is an option is we can customize the bot specifically and host it off the back end of your organization if that is something you'd be interested in. So it doesn't have to just be off the back of our website. Our vanilla option, which is this one, is on our website, but we can customize it. So there we go. The outcome email, it's asking if you'd like it to be drafted. I'm going to say, please go ahead and draft it. And there's our email that lets the employee know exactly what is happening, the findings of the disciplinary itself, and then also the outcome, which is going to be a dismissal. So that is how our chairperson board works. I hope you enjoyed. If you have enjoyed it, feel free to contact Joshua Buerta at Global Business, or just Joshua at globalbusinesssolutions.co.com.